I'm Wendy Shepard. I'm the executive director of Mittens for Detroit. I just celebrated my 13th anniversary and I'm now in my 14th year with Mittens for Detroit. We've been around since 2010 and we are a 501(c)(3) nonprofit with the purpose to collect, purchase, and distribute brand new pairs of mittens and gloves to kids, teens, and adults in need in and around Detroit. And we do it on kind of a large scale. Our model is to have a network of collection partners. We have about 100 every year. And then we also have a network of distribution partners. And so the distribution partners include everything from schools to shelters, senior groups, veterans groups, food kitchens, a myriad of programs located all over the city of Detroit. And if you don't know this, the city of Detroit is so huge, it could put major cities inside it, like Boston and San Francisco. So it's a huge city with a lot of needs, and we are the only game in town when it comes to providing mittens and gloves. And we only do brand new. And then we also were very successful in getting hundreds of volunteers every year. Our whole purpose is to make the city warmer, to help people who don't get a lot of love. It's one of the reasons why we have succeeded is because the community wants us here. They really love what we're doing. And we have returning volunteers and returning donors and returning collection partners year after year because we're so mission focused. And I was one of the very few people who, every time I heard it was going to be bitter cold, I go, yes, because with global warming, what's been happening in climate change is that our winters and falls have gotten much warmer and it doesn't really get cold till January. So it's been a real struggle. Our collection season is October 1 through January 10. And when people are walking around in December wearing a t-shirt, they don't think about that there are a lot of people who do not have heat at home and they don't have warm jobs and they don't have warm cars. Our superstar this year is a little boy. His name is Lincoln. He just turned 11 years old and he belongs to the Michigan Society of Children of the American Revolution. Last year was in charge of their kids caring group. And he heard about Detroit. And this kid was a powerhouse and he raised over 700 pairs of mittens and gloves. I think it was like a little 100 pairs at the Michigan Veterans Foundation. He's so great. For years, we are online fundraising and then later on silent auctioning. We used a Network for Good for 13 years and they kept growing and adding more features. And it seemed like I'd say, oh, I really wish they would do this. And suddenly they'd offer that feature. And then just at the time when we're ready to start doing silent auctions online after the pandemic, it was, they don't have a good silent auction platform. We had $42,000 value. And you get $42,000 means you have a lot of items because you're also bundling things. They had the philosophy of it's not broke, let's break it. And they totally ruined the silent auction thing. And I was in the middle of doing a silent auction and it was horrible. So I said, that's it. I got to go. I got to see who does good silent auctions. So I started asking around and I had several people say, our school uses ClickBid or my sister's nonprofit uses ClickBid. And I started looking and go, Michigan? We try to source everything Michigan and as much as we can. And people are saying good things. And so I had an introductory call and I talked to someone who'd been using ClickBit for a few years at her school. She couldn't stop saying nice things about it. And especially how easy it made you all made her job. And she was a one-woman show. So we chose ClickBit after talking, and it was like, I got to learn a new platform and I can't do this. It's like overwhelming to me. I can't learn a new platform. And then there was Trevor. And Trevor was like, don't worry, Wendy, you can do it. This is easy. Let me just show you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, it's easy for you to say easy. And he says, no, 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 it really is. And he goes, we really can do this. Easy peasy. Every function that I was trying to do, if I didn't know how to do it, either Trevor was available or the function that I needed to do made a lot of sense and it was easy, or I just had to learn how to do it. Well, how do I learn how to do it? Well, there were videos and there were how-tos and there was Trevor and I was learning how to do it, but we were stumping him because we have a lot of technical background and we were finding, wow, he's not saying, do not call us anymore. He's not acting like we're an annoyance, which is the group that took over Network for Good. If you called them for support, they acted like you were an annoyance. We just had our first silent auction with you. Where's my report? And he said, well, you can see what sold. I go, I know I can see who bought what, but where's the analysis? So that was one of the first questions I asked when I was coming to ClickBid. But then at the end, I pressed report, 26 pages. Oh my God, look at this. And I saved it as a PDF and I sent it to all of our board members and said, this is why I'm paying this for ClickBid. And ClickBid is not expensive because it's so functional and it's not expensive anyway. The fact that now I'm doing my first ticketed events with you all and I'm learning how to do that and everything's really easy. And again, working with Trevor has been really easy. So I've already recommended ClickBid to bunches of people because I think it makes my job so much easier. And everybody who works there, who I've worked with so far, is fabulous. And so customer relationship part of it is really, really important to me because that's why I do the job I do. And I really think that if there's one thing I can say to nonprofits, because a lot of little nonprofits, our boards are smaller or absent. If you're really lucky, you've got a decent board, but do they know how to do fundraising? Probably not. What I'm always saying to people is like, it's so important to find when you're going to spend a lot of money. And if to me, over $10 is a lot of money as a little nonprofit, I got to think about what I'm spending. I have to do a cost benefit analysis. And I've been doing this job a long time. I've kind of gotten good at it. The platforms you have, they think, oh my God, that's so expensive. And I say, is your time money? Because if your time is money, like my time is money, if I do something and it works easily, it's worth every dime and it's not expensive. It's not, I mean, the quality and the content that you get with ClickBid is high class. It is really high class and it looks good. I get so many people comment, oh my, this process was so easy. And it was all online, right? And they loved how it looked. They loved the process from them clicking open to it. How do you register to paying for their item at the end? I wouldn't be exaggerating if I said 25 people told me that it was that good. Honestly, you know what? If I had somebody who was thinking about using a platform, I'm happy to talk to, especially the small guys, to give them the courage to try this. It works in big letters, you get excellent support. Because I think that's what scares so many nonprofits away from anything. If you get lousy support, I had a group, they were some friends of mine, and their group was going to do a silent auction. And they said, oh, could you help us? The woman took it so seriously. Everything I said, she took and she called. I said, you can call me with questions. So she was calling me with questions, and they made buku bucks. She was exhausted. And I said, you should have done it online. You should have done it with online bidding. So they ended up this year joining ClickBid. So they said, Wendy, you're always saying such good things about them. I go, I am telling you such good things because they are such good things. So I said, but don't sign up until you get a referral code from me. And then I get this, hey, you get this $100, gift cards. I think it's just, again, like when she said that, and she said, well, we would never have gone with them because we were afraid to go with a service. So now they are so excited because it's going to be like easy peasy. My thing is the more you keep doing what you're doing, the better it is for everybody. And on behalf of small nonprofits, I gotta say, you offer the most for the least and customer service. That is the key to keeping a small nonprofit in place because you don't usually have somebody else. That's your person. That's what you're paying for, someone to help you who knows the product. What I love about Trevor, if he doesn't know, he goes, let me get back with you. He doesn't fake it or make me act like I ask stupid questions. Thank you again for having really an excellent product. It's made my life much more fun and much more productive. So thank you.